Welcome back to my YouTube channel. We have a lot to talk about. This was actually inspired by a video that I saw on TikTok, and now I'm bringing it into YouTube. We need to expound on these things. These 30-second videos on TikTok, they're not saying enough. If you are somebody who feels like they need to dress casual and dress down to make other people feel better, please stop. You're going to have to stop that. You're going to have to stop that. The idea of dressing down and muffling your style, suppressing your style to make the other people feel comfortable and to appease what these people have to say and how these people feel about you is just not, it's not gonna cut it. It doesn't feel good. Trust me, I've been there before. And there's just no way to please everybody. There's no way, okay? We're gonna get into this because I have a lot to say about it. We're gonna talk about what it means and what are the implications of you dressing down and suppressing your style for other people. We're also gonna talk about what you should expect as you start to evolve and elevate your style, because people might not be as open-minded to it, as you probably already know. We're also going to talk about what to expect when you start to dress as the better version of yourself. But before we get into that, let's address the people on the other side of the spectrum. If you are a part of the community of people who look crazy at other people when they get dressed up, I need you to know that this is a safe space for you. I'm not going to hold your hand throughout this video. Y'all can hold each other's hands in the back of the classroom, but you must do better. I do have to say there's nothing wrong with dressing casual sometimes, but if you look at other women who are dressed up and you kind of have this weird energy about it, you feel uncomfortable, you ask why is she so dressed up, you are the problem. So we have to talk about this and you have to stop doing that. Okay, let's get into the video. A wise woman once said, if I am a lot, then go find less. I'm the wise woman. I said it. Now, did I say it first? No. Probably not. And honestly, the truth is when you look good, you feel good. And when you look good, people treat you differently also. You have to be prepared for this. And if you're somebody who's tapping into their I'm not going to dress down to make people feel comfortable era, then this video is for you. And you probably need to be prepared for a few things. As you already can imagine, people are going to react to you very differently when you get dressed up. It's not going to be like the regular, you know, hey girl, how you doing? It's going to be, you're going to have a different experience. If you've been there before, then you know. People are going to ask you, why are you dressed up? Why are you so dressed up? But I don't know. Sometimes I'm just like, is the problem that I'm dressed up or is it that you are too casual? Because one thing y'all like to do, and this is no shade, no tea, because I'm okay with the flat being worn. But when people get too casual for like a concert, I'm like, is Beyonce not giving us the performance of a lifetime? Why are you so casual? Attention must be paid to these outfits when we start to go out to different events. When you start getting dressed up and you're not somebody who typically used to dress up, you will probably notice a few things. You're going to notice they're going to look at you kind of interesting. There's going to be like a wide eye when they first lay eyes on you. And sometimes it's a very complimentary wide eye, but sometimes it's a shady wide eye. Like they might try to make you the topic of the conversation. They might, you know, make jokes with other people. They might say things like, oh, you always do the most. Like, listen, girl, I do. Are you not, this has been the thing for some time now. This is not my first day on the job for me personally. I'm used to it now, but sometimes it can be a little uncomfortable because people are making you the topic of the conversation. I'm not somebody who like dies for attention. I'm not that person like, oh, make me the center of attention. But if you put me in the center for that attention, attention will be paid. And when you start getting dressed up, you have to understand people they'll kind of check in with your outfit before we get to the function. And I'm not mad at this. They're going to ask you, are you wearing jeans to the function? Are you wearing heels to the function? Girl, what are you wearing? Like, what are you wearing? You know, you might stop being invited altogether. Because they don't want to have to put all this energy into their outfits to match your fly. And listen, I'm not mad at any of that. Well, maybe a little bit. But then when you stop getting invited to events altogether because they know you're going to dress up or do too much, sometimes it feels a little sad. But maybe that's just not your people. But I really noticed that people sometimes can be very self-deprecating towards you when you kind of show up in that way of dressing, you know, well put together, coming correct as you will. It seems like it's coming from a place of them feeling a little bit inferior, which is a little sad to think about because you don't want people to feel like that. I remember when I was in college, this happened with two friends. I had this cute little outfit on. But like these are young girls who just don't have the same experience, don't have the same upbringing. I have very confident family members. I know they were raised probably very different than me. There was just this energy of, I could never look like that, or I could never pull that off. And sometimes that is sad to me. And as somebody who was also in college, I was mature for my age, but not enough to be able to know how to interact with that and navigate those experiences and those conversations with them. Sometimes I just used to be like, girl, it's okay. And that's a moment for you to kind of, I guess, absorb some of their stress and insecurities there, because now I'm like, okay, should I cover up? But I've definitely experienced that before, and it's kind of hard to navigate. You can visually see somebody because they're college age girls. They're not at the point in their life where they know how to hide that. You know, as an adult, you kind of have figured out, you know, this is what I got to work with. This is what it is. I love it here. You learn to embody and appreciate that older in age. But in college, that's not really a mentality that is there. Watching people physically, their face, their aura, and their energy about themselves change by way of you just existing. And these are people that I wouldn't say were bad people. They were friends of mine. These were not just some random girls. But I get it though, because like, essentially you're putting a mirror to people. When people become self-deprecating, they're like, oh, I could never pull that off. Oh, I couldn't do that to myself. Sometimes it's rude like that too. The oh, I could never wear that much makeup. I could never do my makeup. Take 3 hours to do my makeup. Like, girl, I don't know what to tell you. Because I can't. I give grace because I know where that's coming from. You're essentially putting a mirror to people. They kind of have insecurities that are drawn up when you put a mirror to people and they see themselves in that light or not in that light. I remember I met this lady and she was so kind and she was so sweet. And then I started to tell her about how I work in fashion. I'm a stylist. She just started essentially ripping her looks apart. She just like my hair, oh, it's so humid here. My hair is so bad. And then I left my really good blazer at home. She started to kind of like defend why she looks like the way she looks. And here's the thing, the lady looks good. I said, ma'am, I don't see nothing wrong. What are you talking about? Like, I don't see nothing wrong. And even if she didn't look good, if you are not a client of mine, or if you don't come to me and ask for that advice, I'm not sitting here telling you, oh, you look bad. No, y'all can exist how you want to. I understand everybody has a different experience on earth. You have a different path today. But she just immediately started going into why she wasn't up to par. And I was like, girl, you look good to me. I'm starting to realize those are some of the first plants of envy. When people start comparing themselves to you, comparison is one of the first kind of ways the envy, that weird energy comes about. That's where it first starts. So I just try to give people grace when they go into that element, because I know that women have a lot of insecurities. The world tells us we need to look like a certain thing, be like a certain thing, exist in a certain way. So I get it. That's something that you need to be prepared for. You're probably going to have people become more self-deprecating towards you and kind of throw themselves in the ring of comparison with you. And you didn't ask to be there. Okay, another experience I have is people get offended. Like, the fact that people get offended when you leave the house looking good is crazy to me. The fact that my existence is triggering you is crazy to me. Like, what they say, Beyonce has the same 24 hours in a day. It's the same thing. Now, Beyonce got different resources than we do, but she still got them 24. You know what I'm saying? And even on my inner work journey, I don't know, I get excited when things trigger me. Here's why. Because when things trigger you, you can reflect on why this thing is triggering you. What is this bringing up for you? What is the experience that this trigger is linked to? And you can work that out so you're not triggered anymore. So I don't know, if I come in the room and I'm triggering you, you would want to say thank you and why this is triggering to you. I don't know about you, but I don't want to be walking around getting triggered by people just because they exist. Like, no, there's something to be said about that. And I think that it has been a beautiful experience to kind of work through triggers in real time and realize, oh, wow, that triggered me a little bit. It's very interesting. When you tap into self-reflection, you're going to learn more about like who you are and how did you get to who you are today. And I know sometimes it's a very scary thing to look into yourself, and also it takes a lot of time. So I'm not saying that it's just the easy breezy beautiful cover girl thing, you're going to get it done in 3 weeks. No, absolutely not. But it's interesting to recognize who you are and why you feel some type of way and what comes up for you when other people exist in the way that they exist. And also finding what triggers you allows you to evolve and be able to hold those experiences in your life without you feeling some type of way. That is the level up journey. Figuring out the things that are triggering you, figuring out how to be able to navigate life with those things and not be triggered. It's a beautiful experience. And I think I had this conversation with my friend before, like dressing up in a town that's a t-shirt and jeans town, it's like you're going to stand out. People are going to look at you. People might get uncomfortable. People might ask you where you got that. People might be really pleasant, especially if you're in the South. They love a nice nasty. They love to be gentle and pleasant and talk about you behind your back. I just hope that you can still navigate that experience and just exist the way you exist without overthinking it and without trying to play small for these people. Girl, who are these people? You don't even know these people. The next thing I have to say is, y'all, people will absolutely adjust to you. You have to understand, look at the world we are in. These are some unprecedented times. This is crazy. I'm like, what is going on? You look at the world, look at your neighbors, look at your friends, look at your family, look at your coworkers. They are adjusting. They might be going crazy somewhere, but they're adjusting. And the reality is, if you can adjust to this, you can adjust to me. And I don't think we give people enough credit that they're going to adjust, and they're going to adjust well. Okay, so if you show up to the function and you're overdressed, they're going to adjust. Even if you show up and you got the dress code wrong and you're underdressed, they're all going to adjust to you. And I know people don't personally believe the world revolves around me, but in my world absolutely revolves around me. So I can show up dressed up, I can change my hair, I can change my blouse, I can wear heels, I can maneuver how I want to maneuver in my world. Okay, and I say that on my other videos, like, it's your world. I'll give you fashion advice, but it's your world. Figure out how this applies to you and dominate in that way. And also, I think dressing down to make people comfortable is equivalent to making yourself less to be around people who think you're doing too much, which means that you should not be around them, period. Just saying. And I think it's so interesting that you have to understand people are put in your life for different things and different reasons. That's not to say that the people that are in your life have one reason for being in your life, but they have a lot of different reasons for being there. I think about my friend from college. When I first went to undergrad, I met a friend, her name was Tiara. She was the most fashionable girl I've ever met till this day, okay? And her style was just everything. And I remember once we became friends, she just started to tell me about different places to shop. She introduced me to the steamer. So when I first got to see her style, I used to spend money on clothes, but not like all the time. I was always a fashion forward girl, but she took me to the next level or the next stage of that experience for me. Really blessed to have even met her at that time. The way she approached style, what her fashion eye was, the way she spoke about her style, and how she's not going out unless she has the right fit. Like, I just really appreciated that. And I think I was able to see my style from a different lens by just being in proximity to her. I remember her and my other friend used to have this idea, like, dress well, test well, like to dress cute on test days, that we would have tests. And listen, our classes were not easy. We definitely would dress cute. I remember I started to dress cute when I started taking a test. And listen, I don't know if that changed anything with the testing, because I still used to hand in that Scantron with a shaky hand, okay? But when I left cute. I felt cute. And that's just something that I still, interestingly enough, take seriously. At the time, maybe I didn't realize how much influence she was having on my style by just being herself. But in retrospect, definitely took the style up a notch. And there's always going to be a different experience in your life that's going to evolve your style. That was one for me. For you, it might be having children and becoming a mom. You get a new job and you want to evolve your style. Or you decide you want to embrace a different side of your personality, and as a result, you're evolving your style. So there's always going to be different experiences. Honestly, it should inspire you more than it makes you feel less than to see other people dressed up. I remember I was in an airport and we were going to Hawaii or Puerto Rico. We were going to a tropical destination. And this lady was in the airport and she looked so good. She had wedge heels on, some cute shorts on. It was like white shorts. She's probably late 40s, early 50s. Like, that has to be her age. And she had the sun hat on, her shades, and she was just fabulous. I want to wear some heels. I want to dress like that. She really inspired me. She looked so cute. Like, she was ready for vacation. She was prepared. I knew every outfit after that was about to be a 10 or above, okay? So I just love that. I definitely want to dress up when I go to my tropical destinations now and just make it a thing. Don't make yourself smaller for other people, because you're taking the opportunity away from them to rise up. You're taking the opportunity away from them. Who are you to take away the opportunity for them to tap into self-reflection and to rise? Who are you to do that? No. Put a mirror to them. It's fine. They will adjust. It also is an opportunity for people. When you get triggered by people, you have to understand that it's an opportunity for you to decide, like, am I going to have this opportunity to face my shadow, or am I going to go deeper into my shadow? Also, we have to talk about the fact that at some point they all fall in line. And what I mean by that is, I have been that friend, the coworker, the sister. I've definitely experienced having things or wearing things that people maybe didn't resonate at one point in their life, but then in a couple years later, a couple months later, they're wearing that brand, they're choosing to elevate their style. And here's the thing about that. I'm not mad at that, because everybody has a different journey, and you are going to come to this style journey on a different path and at a different time than I did. I came out the womb on the journey. That might not be your experience. You might need more time to come to your style journey, and that's okay. Most people have to interact with or see a brand 7 times before they actually purchase something, right? So that's kind of like nurturing that life cycle. I get it, but don't be acting like I don't clock it. I get it, but I also clock it. Okay, moving on to our next part of this, which might step on some toes a little bit. I'm not gonna hold your hand. If you are hanging around people that you feel like you need to change and dress down just to be around, then maybe you need to change your people. I'm sorry, I said it. Like, it literally, if people feel like you're doing the most, it literally just means that you're probably not around the right people, because your people are not gonna make you feel that way. You wanna know why? Because I found my people don't make me feel that way. And when I have people that do make me feel that way, I hold space for them because I love them. But like, I'm not moving. She's steadfast in her style. I'm not going anywhere. I'm not being moved. But if you're around people that make you feel that way, you probably just need to change your people. Don't make yourself smaller for other people. It is a problem. Subconsciously, it gives away your power to dress down and to fit in. Also, it's not fun to be around you anymore because you're moving from a place of powerlessness. Hello? Whether you realize it or not, simply dressing down to fit in penetrates you subconsciously, and now you're interacting with people from this place of powerlessness. You can't have them both. Somebody said you can have them both. You absolutely cannot. Also, what you don't understand is dressing down doesn't just stop at what you wear. You start playing small and trivializing other elements of your life. So if I ask you, oh, what have you been up to? You are feeling weird about telling me that you're learning golf. You feel weird, or you want to trivialize the fact that you just joined a golf club. You are trivializing the fact that you just perfected your backhand in tennis. You know what I'm saying? You start trivializing your workout journey. You start trivializing the fact that you just stayed up all night working on this website to launch your business. You start trivializing that you reorganized your seasoning cabinet. You start trivializing that you got to 100 days in Duolingo. It's a big deal. It's a big deal, and attention must be paid. I don't know how people compartmentalize trivializing their style and the way they show up in the world and trivializing who they are as a being. I don't know how y'all can compartmentalize that. I don't think that's a real thing. Subconsciously, they trickle into one another. You trivialize all the other parts of yourself that are super exciting because you already went into the scenario playing small because you were dressing down to fit in. If you live by the praise, you're gonna die by the silence. Like, I get a lot of attention when I dress up, but it doesn't fill me up because I've already decided a long time ago that I'm filled up. But it also doesn't deplete me when people don't compliment the way I look, or when people don't have comments about my style, or when people have negative comments about my style, because I already decided a long time ago that it is good. So I will say, I cannot relate to people maneuvering from the perspective of, I don't want to get a lot of attention. Like, I can't really relate to that, but I think that has a lot to do with who you're around, like who you're actually around when you're getting dressed up. Because the only time I've ever had like this semblance of this idea of I don't want to get a lot of attention has been the times when I'm around people that have a lot of crabs in a barrel energy. Like, I don't feel like that normally. It typically has to do with who are the people I'm around. Like, when when you're getting dressed up and you like, you're looking different, you feel like a unicorn a little bit, but like, you just feel like the spotlight's on you so much, and it is. And I think it took me a really long time to realize how much the way you look absolutely plays a role in how people perceive you, engage with you, and how people perceive themselves. So that's an interesting journey. So again, you need to think about who you're around when you're getting dressed up. Like, ask yourself, does it make you feel scared to get dressed up around these people, or do you feel empowered to get dressed up around these people? Like, how do you feel when it's time for you to be the unicorn? Also, what I think is so interesting is that most people really are lying when they say they're not dressing up for other people, because when they see you getting dressed up, they assume that it's for another person. It's like, oh, where you going after this? You got a date? You going to see a man? Girl, this is for me. And that's how I know y'all be lying, because every time I get cute, you assume it's for somebody else. Not here. You see other women getting dressed up, and because you think they're dressing for the male gaze, you create this competition in your head that's not actually happening in real life. Let me get this straight. So you're trying to tell me that when you dress up for others, the male gaze, and then when you dress down, right, you dress down for others so they don't take you too seriously, or so they don't see you as a threat, or so that you can blend in. When are you dressing for yourself? And when you dress up, you don't dress for you, and when you dress down, you don't dress for you. When are you styling yourself for yourself? So if you're one of those people, you should take the time out to journal about a time you actually got dressed for yourself. I promise you, life is different when you see yourself as the center of your universe. And not like in that weird, mean, like, me, it's just me. But just like, why does the world have to be doing a thing in order for you to do it? And I know somebody's going to say, oh, I'm dressing for myself when I dress in my mismatched sweats and when I don't do my hair. It's your world. You can do what you want to do. But I have to ask you a question. When you dressed in those mismatched sweats, you might be dressing for yourself, but are you dressing for the best version of yourself? Likely not. And if you are, then girl, do your thing. If you're somebody who has not dressed your best and you're kind of entering that era where you're leaving the house, dressing your best, there are some positive sides to this. I believe everything exists on the spectrum. So if there's some negative, parts of it, there's some positive sides of it too. And you already know this. Y'all already know. When you dress better, people just treat you differently. And people want to help you a lot. You absolutely will become more visible due to you having more effort. And the reality is, in today's world where everybody is dressing almost below casual, it's very easy to out effort people because no one's putting effort in. So honestly, the way you dress will absolutely change the way you navigate the world and your experience in the world. It's going to change the type of people that want to be around you. And there's nothing wrong with that. When people dress their best, it's easy to assume that they take that same seriousness into their work, into their relationships, into this might not be true. I'm just telling you what it's easy to assume. You don't want to treat people differently because they're dressed different and dressed better, but notice that the world will treat you differently. I am a case study for this. I've gotten just different experiences, different opportunities. I find people just gravitate and want to just strike up a conversation. It's just so interesting though, the way people change just by way of how you dress. They don't know nothing about you, but they want to help you and want to be in service to you more because you dress better and carry yourself better. People are more generous. They're rushing to open doors. Not just men, but even women rushing to open doors. They're helping you put your luggage in an overhead bin. They are offering you a drink if you go to the airport bar and you're sitting down waiting for your flight. They're offering to buy you something. It's just these little micro moments that you realize, oh, you don't know me. It's because of the way I'm carrying myself. It's because of the look, the aura, the vibe. It's because I'm dressed my best. People are going to ask you, girl, what are you doing? People are going to be excited. Everybody is not on that nasty and rude side of the spectrum. Some people are really open to embrace when you start to exist as your best and highest self. They're open to it. They're excited about it. They're going to ask you, where are you shopping? Where'd you get that product? Oh my gosh, I love that. And again, everybody is not trying to destiny swap with you. Everybody is not a monitoring spirit. And another thing, you're going to get a lot of compliments from people. The thing about it is when you navigate the world, and this might be rude, I'm not holding your hand, you don't actually have to look at yourself all day. You kind of forget how you look until you get home. You ever have those days where you navigated the world just below casual? And then you get home and you look at yourself and you're like, dang, this is how I look today? You ever have those moments? Well, yeah, you didn't get to see you every day, all day today, but everybody else got to see you. You'll notice that people will start complimenting you more. They'll be more kind and more generous with compliments, which is really nice. But I think one thing I also learned about that is I used to give them a compliment back. I started to realize that's not, you shouldn't do that. If people compliment you, receive the compliment, just receive it. You don't need to give them a compliment back. And the reason why is because it's kind of like a slap in the face. It's like if I give you a Christmas gift, I give you a candle or something, and then you re-gift it back to me for my birthday. Okay, now into my final point. When you see people who have been dressing nice, putting themselves together, they didn't just wake up yesterday and start this. They have been planning this their entire lives. And I think that's an interesting perspective because it's the same way if you're learning a skill. Somebody is really good at that skill and you're like, dang, they got so good. You know it didn't happen overnight. It's compounding, right? The information I learned in the 12th grade about how to apply eyeliner is now compounded with the information I learned about how to give myself a silk press, which is compounded with the information I learned about what colors look best on me, which is compounded with the information I learned about what my body type is and how to appropriately style my body type. I promise you, a lot of the women and the people that you see dressed well didn't just start yesterday. Understand that this is something they have been executing or moving towards execution on for a very long time. They didn't just wake up and get it right. It took some time. And that's something I think you need to remember. If you're somebody who's new to kind of elevating your style and being dressed up, know that these girls, they started a long time ago. And all of the information that they've learned have gotten them to this point where they can show up. They already know what outfit formula works for them. They already know what their body type is and what outfits are going to work with that. They already know their color. They already know their hair. Which brings me to my other point. Sometimes you just need to understand that these people have a strategy and a plan. You need to plan your looks. The biggest difference between people who put themselves together and are super put together and they dress their best, the difference between the people that dress their best and you is that they planned. They have a strategy. They're not just free-balling life. The reason so many of us find it so easy to get dressed up and be cute is because of foresight. We're not being reactive. We're being proactive. We're planning our looks. We're not being last minute. So you have to understand those people who have the perfect makeup routine, they know exactly what's going to look good and not look good on their face. They have accessories for the outfit. They don't have to go buy accessories. They got accessories at home. They drop their shoes off to the cobbler because they know they're going to need the shoes eventually. So let me get them fixed right now when I don't absolutely need them. They know their body type. They have outfit formulas that work for their body type. You have to understand that those people are planned. They are planned and they are ritualistic, okay? And these things really help you to move faster when it's time to get ready. Making everybody late because you don't have a plan for your outfit, like respectfully, I think is immature and it shows a lack of planning and strategy. And when you're younger, you can really get away with it. Girl, be young. But at some point, you have to get your ducks in a row and not be that person. Anyway, I just think so much of this feminine era conversation that's being had on social media is about reminding women to slow down, reflect, and move at a pace that works for them. Really moving from a place of intuition and intentionality. And the thing about it is you can't move from intuition and intentionality if you don't plan ahead. You can't be intentional and last minute. That's an oxymoron, okay? Take it upon yourself to be more intentional about your style. And also, I'm not saying that you can't be like dressed a little bit casual or dressed down. That's not what I'm saying. I obviously have my days when I embody a more casual style, especially those days before the appointments, you know, and you're just running errands, running around, trying to get it all done before vacation. I think there's definitely some benefits to elevating your style and dressing your best. And like I said before, the times where I did slip into dressing casual or below casual, those were some times that were my worst years. Like I was not feeling my best self. If you are somebody who dresses, you know, below casual a lot, I think there's an opportunity to think of why you might be approaching style from that perspective. And the reality is, when you look good, you feel good. And I love the idea of helping women to reach these greater levels of self-love through their wardrobe. You can love yourself a lot, but you can't act like that cherry on top. The way you dress, the really beautiful outfit, the color palette that resonates with you, the hairstyle that is chef's kiss for your face and your bone structure doesn't absolutely make you feel better and put the cherry on top of that cake. You can't tell me that's not a real thing. And this is why I have my ebooks, Style Confidence. I have different ebooks about how to style your body type. I had so much information and I decided to funnel them into each of the 5 body types just to make it easier for people to digest and easier for me to separate the information. So each book is very different than the other. It's talking about different necklines that work for your body type, different sleeve lengths, what jeans, what denim silhouettes you should wear, different tips to look out for when you're shopping for jeans, different pants, different skirts, what actually works for you. And my favorite part of these books is there's 6 pages, I think it's 9 pages of outfit formulas. And each outfit formula basically is going to show you different outfit formulas for your body type. A lot of times, we just need to know what to put on. And I think the outfit formula part of my books has been the part of it that I've worked on the longest. And I'm so intentional about it. And it's definitely going to be very useful for you. If you're somebody who has a hard time getting dressed, you can check the description link below. I have an ebook about how to find your body type. That one's going to be free. And once you find your body type, then you can decide which body type you want to learn more about, which one resonates with you, and how to style that body type specifically. Anyway, that is all I have for our video today. I have ideas and videos on what I want to create, but there's something about you all telling me what you want that I really like. I just like to see what you're thinking about, figure out ways that I can implement your video ideas into my content. So definitely let me know what videos you want to see next. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and check the link in the description box for my Style Confidence body type ebooks. How to style your body type. I promise you this is going to be the best purchase you make this year. All right, y'all, that's all I have to say. I really hope you like this video. Stop dressing down for other people. Hello. Stop dressing down for other people. You're a grown woman or man. You don't have to navigate them in that way. Until next time, bye.